What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, we're back with my 2015 Ford Mustang EcoBoost that I purchased for about $8,000 from a hurricane flood salvage auction down in Florida. That's right, this car was salt water flooded. We got it running and driving. Unfortunately, half of the electronics don't work. I spent quite a bit of time finding all the components that I need, and I'm hoping, cross my fingers here, that in this video, we're going to get at least most of the electronics functioning again. Now, some of you really like the look of this car with the black and orange, and some of you don't. It is kind of Ricer-esque, I suppose, but, you know, it's okay. I think it looks pretty cool, man. It's got a few little splits and cracks on the bumper there that I need to try to epoxy back together, but overall, it's not too bad. The car used to be red, kind of that ruby red color, as you can see right here. As you can also see, the car it's very, very torn apart currently. We've got a lot to do. Thankfully, this is not a very difficult car to work on. It's all plastic pieces, guys. It's all just little clips, a few screws here and there, but mostly plastic clips, guys. So I've got a mess, and on top of the mess, I got very fortunate and I lost one of my convertible top motors. Oh, my brake lights are now stuck. Oh, nope, they just turned off on their own? Okay. Flood car things, guys. Flood car things. Anyway, we've got speakers that are completely missing their surrounds. Honestly, the least of this car's problems, but I got new speakers for it too, because if I get this whole back end put back together today, the last thing we want to do is have to go in and replace speakers later on. What we need is the two motors for the convertible top. One goes there, one goes there. It's not hydraulic. These are electric motors. Just two basically sunroof motors that run the entire convertible top. I bought them, and then I lost one of them, and I'm really mad at myself for losing one of them, because do you know how much these motors cost used? Do you? Do you know? Well, I'm going to tell you, these motors, I got them sitting in here somewhere. I've got one in a box still. I have to unbox it. But one of these is new. You'll notice there's three motors here. Okay, two of them are old and no good. This is the new/used one that I got off eBay. These are $150 plus tax plus shipping. They come out to about $175 for a little motor? Really? This is a sunroof motor. Believe it or not, this is the motor that would be sitting up in the roof of cars, and they just turned around and repurposed it for a convertible top, of course, using two motors. So we also got these bezels, and I got the really nice aluminum ones. These were not cheap either. I got all of it, and I think this car originally came with the aluminum trim. We've got this piece too. I've got so many pieces that I don't think we need. Here's the new speakers. We've got our forward control unit right here because ours is fried, and that's going to be this little computer module in the back here. We've got that. We've also got a new screen because ours, guess what? Fried with the module in the back. Saltwater things. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. No, I did not upgrade to Sync 5, 4, 3, whatever. It's old school. Whatever came with the car, that's what it got. Also, we got a new CD player radio module. These are all modules. They like to call everything a module. You can clearly see this one's crusty and rusty. So we got a new one of those as well. Of course, I said we got the speakers. And this part's important too. This is our convertible top switch, which the computer was saying we had a problem with, that it wasn't functioning. So I bought this whole unit right here to go back into the car. And hopefully, with all of this installed, I'm crossing my fingers that we don't have to do any crazy programming. I already know we're probably going to have to, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, the main thing that I'm focused on is getting the convertible top to work. The power windows already work, but I would like to be able to get the convertible top going up and down on its own. So I think what I'm going to start with is digging through this entire mess back here, trying to find all of the screws that hold the motors in place, and well, I guess we got so much to do, guys. Let's get started. So let's start with something simple. I installed the two motors There's only 3 tiny, like T25s, that hold each motor in. I've got both motors installed. Didn't put anything back because there's really no need to. We've got the, you know, this piece is kind of hanging out right here for now. We've got the switch installed. So why don't we start the car up and let's see. The switch lights up, so that's good. Push it. Foot on the brake. Push it. Oh, come on. It's not doing anything. Oh, man. No. Nothing at all. And yes, we've already verified that the fuses are all good. The e-brake is on. Car is in park. And I do have my foot on the brake. You can clearly see the brake lights illuminated back there. But, well, this is lovely. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my code reader out. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to clear the codes. And we'll see if anything comes back to life. I swear if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Well, we still have a code for motor B. And here's the fuse for motor B right here. Now, I've checked both of these fuses for continuity. Both fuses are good. So when both fuses are good, it's time to start looking into something else. So the first thing I like to do is I like to find out if I've got my 12, 13 volts on the pole here. And as you can see, we do. Perfect. Now, when we jump over to the other side, to the other pole, there should be no voltage. Except there is. That's not supposed to happen. Guys, let's pick a random fuse. Let's take this 25 out right here. And let's just sit it to the side. And let's take a look. You should have 12 volts on one side. And nothing on the other. Okay, 12 volts on this side. Now let's move it to this side. Nothing. 12 volts. Nothing. Now let's do the same thing to this fuse, and we have 12 volts. And 2 volts. That's a problem. My next question is, and I got a sneaky suspicion here. Let's do a continuity tester here. Okay, when it hits ground. Uh-oh, get in there. Come on. There we go. Anytime we find a ground, it's going to be... Let's find out if we might have an intermittent ground here. Do you hear that? Other side? No. Uh-huh. You should not have a ground. We have an intermittent ground here too. So we've got a problem, and I think I know what it is. It just means it's going to want me to buy, guess what? Another module. That's right, modules. It's becoming my favorite word when working on these cars. And if you notice, we've got Monkey Wrench Mike's Maserati over here. If you think this car is complicated, I have been working with him on this for quite a while. And I'm going to tell you right now, this one, I pulled up like a schematic of the whole car. Every module this car has, it's unbelievable how many control modules are in this car. Now, if anybody can come up with a pinout for the ECM for a 2014 Maserati Ghibli SQ4, please email it to me. I need a pinout for this module right here. Do you know how many pins are in this? Take a guess, and then I'll tell you. You ready? You guessed? You got your number? And go ahead and comment it. Comment how many pins you think are in this control module. Over 200. I kid you not. Over 200. And what we've narrowed this down to, I'm really good with electronics, probably because my father was his whole career was in electronics, guys. That's what he did. It's what he did in the military. It's what he did his whole life. He could build anything from scratch. Maybe not a control unit like that, but you get what I'm saying. He could build just about anything you could imagine from scratch, man. I remember, like, back in the 90s, he built a laser that was able to actually burn through and catch things on fire. And I know by today's standards, that's no big deal, you know, but back then, that was a pretty big deal, guys. Super, super smart guy. And he taught me a lot of the stuff that I know today when it comes to troubleshooting and diagnosing this stuff. Without him, I wouldn't have had any interest in any of this stuff at all. So if he were here, I guarantee he would have this figured out way faster than me. But here's what I think, because I don't have the kind of understanding that he has when it comes to electronics, but I understand just enough to get me in trouble. That's what I like to say. Let me tell you what I think is going on here. There is a module. Let me grab a light so you guys can see. There's a module over here that I'm pretty certain was underwater. And although the majority of the car works, this damn convertible top is really... I really wanted to bring this thing all the way back. You know what I mean? There's a module right here. Do you see that? It's a giant fuse box. Not only is it a fuse box, but you see all these connectors? All these wires plug into it. Okay? Everywhere. Very important module. And it sits in a very low position in the car. I am thinking this right here. Although it works mostly, just about everything in the car works, I think it's damaged inside. You know, all it takes is one pin, and I've already checked the pins and they're not corroded, but I haven't taken the module apart and seen what kind of damage we're looking at on the inside. So here's my options. I can continue going down this rabbit hole, trying to figure out how to get this fixed. And believe me, I want to. I am really OCD about stuff like this. I want everything to work. Or, this is the other option. I want you guys to comment below and tell me your honest opinion. What do you think? I can take out this motor. It's just 3 bolts. I can take out that motor. Again, just 3 bolts. No big deal. With those motors out, you can manually raise and lower the top anytime you want. It's not, I wouldn't say it's easy, because it's awkward. It's a very big, bulky item, but at the same time, I wouldn't say it's hard either. It's kind of intermediate. You know, it's moderately difficult. One person could do it, no problem. It's just kind of awkward. And it's kind of, you know, embarrassing, because in a modern car, you expect to be able to sit in the driver's seat and top goes up and down whenever you want. So, a quick and easy fix. I think I'm going to do this, I'm going to say temporarily, but you guys know how temporary repairs go. They usually become permanent. I'm going to take the motors out. I'm going to leave them plugged in so that there's a CAN bus communication between the motors and the modules and everything. Well, except for this one, because it's not communicating. But I think the idea is, let's put the speakers in. Let's start buttoning this stuff back up. We'll leave the motors unplugged for now. That way the top can be raised and lowered as it needs to be. We'll put in the new speakers. We'll button everything back here up, get it put back together so it at least looks like a car again. And we need to install the radio, the forward control modules, climate control modules, start-stop button. Like, we need to install all of that stuff and find out if this is going to come back to life, or if maybe the problem with the control units up here was not necessarily anything wrong with the control modules, but actually that piece that sits down in the bottom in the corner there. I've got this sneaky suspicion, guys. I really do, that this piece down here collected a little bit of water and it's thrown a few things kind of loopy. So let me get in the car. Let me start hooking some of this stuff up and we will see if anything comes back to life. Okay, I have loosely installed everything, meaning nothing is bolted in. Everything is just kind of loosely sitting in place. I did not pull the motors out yet. Let's start with making sure everything works. Good start. Yeah, very nice, yes. All right. Please tell me that we will have climate control. That was the big issue. We had no climate control in this car. None of the switches down here worked at all. None of them. So, I mean, the screen came to life. Everything turned on. So that's good. Oh. Come on, really? Still nothing. What about any of this stuff work? I'm gonna guess no. So we have our traction control. Still doesn't work. Steering, comfort, sport mode, nope, doesn't work. And our drive modes also don't work. Nothing. Nothing. Heated, cooled seats, climate control doesn't work at all. Does the radio? Nothing works. Still. Nothing. Does the touchscreen work? Yeah, the screen. I mean, the screen works, but none of my buttons work. I replaced this whole thing, all of this, the screen, the radio, the buttons, the module behind it. I replaced all of this, and still nothing works. Again, I'm really going back to that box over. See, I thought maybe this had gotten wet, but I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look like this got wet. I don't think the water got anywhere near this high. The only module that's low enough that it could have been damaged is that one right there. And I don't know what they call that. I'd have to get a part number off it, but it's basically a giant fuse box and it's got everything in it. But it's too crazy to me that we've replaced multiple motors for the convertible top. They still don't work. We've replaced all of this and none of this still works. Nothing. Now, thankfully, the old screen was damaged and in really bad shape. So we didn't hurt anything by swapping any of this stuff over. And here's another interesting thing. I think, can't we change? Yes, we could adjust the volume and the tune from the steering wheel.
I'll get to that in a moment. I'm a submarine.
And the touchscreen works. You could probably maybe connect a phone through here. I don't know. There's Sirius XM. We'll see if it comes on. I mean, it's there. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything, but let's see if anything comes up. It pulls up, so I mean, we're on the right track. CD player, USB, FM, and let's, can we just scroll? Scroll through here. Scan. There we go. Let's just do it this way. Probably not going to pick anything up in the shop anyway. But the point is this works. It works, and it looks like this has navigation too, which is also nice. I mean, it's a premium package, but you see what I mean? You can't turn it down from here. Nothing here works. You've got to do everything from the steering wheel. So somebody, please help me. What do you think? Do you think it could all be related to that box down there? I sure don't want to keep chasing my tail on this car. I'll be honest with you. I don't have any intentions of keeping this car. None. It's better than it was when we got it. But I don't want to waste all my time and a ton more money chasing down parts. You know, unfortunately, I don't have the proper diagnostic equipment, the proper tools to be able to plug in and like test every little thing. I do have a really nice scan tool. Maybe it'd be worth it to go ahead and see if it's complaining about anything. Seems connected. Let's turn on the accessory power. Okay, there we go. Let's just do a fault scan and see if anything is complaining. Well, it's fast. Wow. Oh, yeah. It says, okay, we got several. ECM, PCM, power relay, de-energized too early. And then we've got an internal control module, non-volatile, random access memory error, an NVRAM error. Lost communication with the HVAC, heating and air conditioning controls. Then we have lost communication with accessory protocol interface module, an RCM. What is that? Audio, battery voltage. Okay. APIM, external memory card. Lost communication with front controls interface module A. We've had that code before. Lost communication with front control A. Lost communication with movable roof control module B. Then we've got invalid data received from the electronic control module powertrain control module. That's the power steering. Invalid data received from anti-lock brake system. And battery voltage again. I did disconnect the battery, and I do kind of wonder if any of this could be related to disconnecting the battery. I bet that it could. Let's clear these codes, and let's see what remains. Lost communication with HVAC, NVRAM error, PCM power relay de-energized too early, battery voltage. It all came back again. Great. So it's like it's not clearing. It's not clearing the codes. Oh, man. And I thought flood cars were going to be fun. I did. Okay. Give me a few minutes, guys. Let me play with this and see if we can figure anything out. Well, as expected, guys, we're not having a whole lot of luck here. I've manually tried to go into each one of these modules, and it's not working. We have the forward control interface module. When you try to get into it, you can already guess what happens. Nothing. It can't find whatever this forward control interface module is. It's missing. Then we have this forward control DIM. I don't know what that is, but it's also missing. It doesn't seem to work. When you go to this one, this is your movable roof control module A. That one works. And over here is control module B. This is the one that's not functioning. At least it says it's not functioning. So let's see. See, here we go. You can't log into either. So we have several modules here that are not working. And I mean, I've cleared the codes. I've done everything, guys. We're having a hard time here. Probably doesn't help that I'm just not all that familiar with this newer technology. I'm old school, man. This newer stuff seems to be a little more complicated, and it's going to take a little more work, I think, to figure all of this stuff out. And I'm not even sure if it's worth it at this point. I mean, thankfully, lights and signals work. We don't have any check engine lights or anything like that. I mean, once you get the hood and the trunk and the hood, I mean, we've got no warning lights on the dash. The brake light's on because I've got the e-brake on. I mean, nothing at all. It goes into gear, runs and drives absolutely great, except, you know, you don't have any controls. You got no climate control. Your hazards work, which is nice. I mean, your locks work, remote start works, windows and mirrors, you know, I mean, all this stuff works. It's just, we have a few modules here that just are not communicating with us. And even though I may not know exactly what I'm looking for here, I keep coming back to the little black box on the floor over here, because, I mean, this is the only thing on the car that sits that low that could have possibly be damaged by water. I think it's all leading back to that, but I'm going to rely on some of you to tell me what you think. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and try to button this car back up. I'm going to try to put it back together. I'm going to take the motors out like I said I was. I'm going to leave them plugged in but removed. And I'm going to throw this thing back together so it at least somewhat resembles a car again. And then, you know, we can move on from there. I think what I'll do is when I get back to the house, I'll get the part number off of this box down here and see if we can't find a matching part number. And I gotta button this up and put the seats in and put the plastics on, and there's a lot to do, guys. But I want this car put back together because there is the possibility. There's definitely a possibility that I'm about done with this one and ready to send it down the road. Guys, I'm literally blown away myself right now. I can't believe this car came out this good. I didn't even wash it with water. I used that spray-on wax stuff, and I got all the sticky residue from all that tape that was on the car. Remember, it had like bags taped over it. I got all that sticky residue off it, and look at this thing. Now, the outside, you know, it's not really where the work was at, guys. The interior is where the work was at, but take a look at that, man. Are you seeing this? Wow. This is what I'm most proud of. All right, look at this. Will you? Are you freaking kidding me? This thing came out looking sharp, man. Look at that. She's sharp, guys. Seriously, it came out really... I can't... yeah, I'm not even, like, looking at this car right now and remembering, like, what it was when it first got here and what it was just a few minutes ago. Like, a complete night and day transformation, guys. I got all the leaves, all the debris out of it. Wow. And the top, you know, it doesn't work the way it was designed to, but you know, it works. You can't do it from here. You got to lift the seat up, and you got to go in there and kind of grab it from the middle and pull it. It sucks, but at least it works. And here's the best part, guys. I have left this car out. We had a snowstorm, and down here in Byers, we had close to 9 inches of snow, and it took days of that stuff just sitting and melting off the car. No water intruded into this car, which means the convertible top is in solid shape. We also had rainstorms today, which is crazy because it's going to get like Arctic blast again. And we had thunderstorms today. Yeah, so this car got soaking wet yet again today. Not a problem, man. Not a problem at all. I'm going to find the key because I want to start it up when we get it out of here. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. No, it's not perfect. It's still got a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed on it. But I'll be completely honest with you guys. There's a reason that I'm in a hurry to push this car out. Some of you are going to agree with me. Some of you aren't. That's fine. I'm going to let you drop your comments below. But stay tuned because at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why I'm kind of in a hurry to, you know, like, punt this one down the road. And no, it's not for the reasons you're thinking. It's not because I'm lazy. I can be lazy. I'm not a lazy person, though, guys. I promise you. I'm going to tell you. So let me show you how we have to put this top up. All right? It's not pretty, and some people would not like it. But listen, if you wanted a cheap Mustang, right? Just an El Cheapo, decent running and driving with no air conditioning, no heat, no heated seats, no ventilated seats, a radio that halfway works. This is the one for you guys. So here's how you do it. You got to climb into the car, right? And then you got to kind of just grab it from the middle here. And, I may have to stand up for this. And, there we go. Oh my goodness. All right. So it's a little heavier than I thought it was. Let's just let it come down on its own, maybe. There we go. That's not so bad. Now I've got to wipe that back seat because I stepped on it, made a mess. Once you've done that, there you go. See? You just, boom. And you can fire it up. Windows up. Oh, there's still some sticker residue on that. I'm about to clean those up. Oh, those windows look awful. Yeah, those look really bad. And there you go. What more do you want, man? You got you a semi-decent little Mustang convertible. And to be fair, I wanted to put the top up so you could see it with the top up as well. I think it just looks good, man. It really does. It came out way better than I ever expected it to. And it runs great. It runs great, it drives great, shifts great. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I think it's that damn module on the floor there. I really do. I really do. When I get home, I'm going to look it up on the old eBay there, and I'm going to see if I can find one. If I can, if it's for a decent price, I'm going to grab it because I think that's going to fix it. I really do. Now, why am I in such a hurry to unload this beautiful car? To be honest with you, originally I thought about, and I know you guys are going to laugh, I thought about giving it to Nick. When he saw it, he loved it. He was like, oh my God, I love that car. And I was like, you know, it's not a bad car for a first-time driver. In fact, in my opinion, it's the perfect car for a first-time driver. On top of that, I probably paid too much for it. I don't know how much one of these retails for. Take into consideration the riced out kit that's on it, right? How much is one of these with 109,000 miles with a clean title. Obviously, this one has a rebuilt title, but I'm trying to figure out if I got a good deal, an average deal, or just a really bad deal on this one. This one I paid $8,000 for, guys. $8,000, 109,000 mile EcoBoost Mustang. Now it's got great tires, and you know, it's been repainted, and you know, it used to be red, but at least they did the jams and everything. You know what I mean? They did it right. They did it right. It's not bad. The orange, that's hit or miss. Some of you guys love it. Shut up. And some of you don't. Personally, I like it. That's why I bought it. I bought this because I saw this like fake GT350 looking or GT500 looking kit on it, and I was like, all right, that's actually kind of cool. I kind of dig the black and the orange. Now, with that said, after all this work and finally getting it done or near done, why am I wanting to push this thing out the door so quick? Well, guys, I bought something today that I did not intend on buying. You know how that goes. You're sitting there watching the auction, something comes up and you're like, I gotta have this. Gotta have it. Some of you probably saw it on Instagram. Some of you may have seen it on the Facebook page, and some of you may have seen it right here on YouTube in the community page where I posted pictures of it. But it's a 1966 Chevy Impala SS with the L72. It's a 427. And yes, it's not a 454 swapped in its place. Probably wondering how I know that. Well, that's because it was on a TV show. And I'm not going to tell you what TV show it is, because we got to wait for the car to get here and do a proper introduction. Now, I've already seen several episodes of the series that this car was in. Again, 66 Impala SS with the 427, and it is the legit 427 with the high performance heads. It's an interesting car, guys. It's a barn find. This is what's funny about it. It's a barn find that made it on television because it was a barn find. The TV show, the crew went through it and started fixing it up. Tubular control arms, disc brakes, new wiring harness. I mean, they went through the car, plugs, wires, all the normal stuff. They go through the car, and then the car ends up right back in the barn. It ends up abandoned again. It has been like 8 or 9 years since that TV show, since those episodes were out. 8 or 9 years. The car was put right back into the barn, and it was parked. And that is where it sits. The best part of this is, I know it's the same car, because in the TV show, they actually show the VIN number on the cell phone. He pulls out his cell phone, he's like, here's the VIN number, and they're checking to find out if it's a true Impala SS or if it's a clone. They show the VIN number, and I'll be damned if that VIN number didn't match exactly with the car that I just picked up. Same wheels, same tires, same color, all the same new parts under the hood. Yeah, and the tubular control arms, it's the same car. Same car. Now, I wanted to go down with Monkey Wrench Mike and try to pick it up and do I was going to fly down there and see if we could get it running and then drive it back to Oklahoma. I'll be honest with you guys, I talked to Monkey Wrench Mike about it. He was down for it, but we got to thinking about the cost. The expense to do that would be incredible, guys. We'd be down there with no tools. We'd have to get hotel. We'd have to get a rental car. And if we couldn't get it running, we would still have to ship the car back up here or get a U-Haul and tow it back. Either way, it was going to be crazy expensive, and we decided not to do that. So I'm gonna just have it delivered here, and I'll tell you what I paid in the upcoming video. That's what I'll do. But selling this black Mustang will give me the majority of my money back for this car, and it's a crazy deal in my opinion. I can't wait to bring it to the channel and introduce it to you guys properly, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get it running. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.